bad person, but we kind of carry that around.
It's very true. I mean, it's like a micro lesson. So let's say right now you're trying to save more money. A lot of the ways when you're young and don't have a lot of money that you spend it is entertainment, right? It's going out with your friends. And a lot of times when you go out with your friends, what do? Like you guys are eating and drinking and who's splitting the check and what's happening here. And I think that's a really uncomfortable thing for young people to do. They're like, I don't know how to have a conversation with somebody saying, I'm really limiting my spend. So I know there's six, it'd be really awkward, but I'm not drinking tonight and I'm just going to have this little thing. So do you mind if I pay for my portion of it? Why do we worry about doing something like that? Because people are going to think we're cheap. They might judge us. They're going to think that, we're not all in it together. And yet, how are you going to reach your goals if you're not willing to do even that little thing? And I remember back in the day, when I had no money at all and I couldn't afford anything, that felt super embarrassing to me. And yet those micro decisions will help you macro if you do it. And all it is expectation setting. I think a lot of times if you want people to go along with something, you just say, hey, I'm super embarrassed to bring this up. And it's a little
empathy and compassion in the other person. And then they receive it with the understanding. Whereas if you just say, hey, I don't think I'm coming out tonight. Now it's like, wait, well, what's wrong? If you now go out and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to pay for my thing. Now you could come across as all the other things you're worried about. As soon as you're honest about the embarrassment, the vulnerability, insight, such a beautiful connection with someone. And by the way, next time, they may not choose that spot. They might choose somewhere that's easier for you.
Actually be there for you, which I've realized is a real gift. I'm not so good at that. But, if you can allow another person sort of in, man, walls break down pretty quick. And then as you make more money, you can start paying it forward the other way.
Yeah.
And then when you can, that's one of the coolest parts about having money is then you're like, I got all this. Like, don't worry about it. Not one of you. And you don't have to do it all the time. You don't have to, big shot people. But when you're in your growth phase, when you're in your save phase, just be there. That's okay. That's where you are. And know that you don't have to stay there. You can eventually be in your big boy giveaway, buy the bottles, do whatever you want phase, but you don't have to pretend like you're not there. And man, that'll really help too in environments like this where it feels harder to make money and you feel a little heavy. And, business too. I saw this tweet the other day of a really expensive looking dinner. And it was like when your company's a couple weeks out from having no cash, but you know that team morale is really expensive. So you spend a couple $1,000s on a team. And I looked at that for a second and we're in a period where we need to tighten up a little bit. And I'd love us to maybe take an afternoon off or maybe do something that doesn't cost the company money. Or maybe we could, come up with some cool ideas. We could do a little challenge to see who could come up with the best idea for us to do some like team building. But I can't actually afford this couple thousand because it's my duty to protect